Hi everyone, welcome to the very first video Code with Jot on generative AI. In this video, we will be building an to-do AI agent which doesn't just chat but actually manages your task using Google Gemini and Appwrite along with the Node.js code. You might be wondering why not going with the DeepSeek model. So basically their API platforms are down right now, so I was not able to get any keys. But this tutorial will also apply to DeepSeek or any LLM model. You can just replace the API calls we will be doing to any AI of your liking. So what's unique about this? So we'll be using the state machine design for creating this agent. This concept is being used in production AI systems. By the end of this video, you'll have a professional grade agent architecture ready with you. So let's dive in. Before jumping into the coding and setup parts, first let's answer the big question. What's an AI agent? An AI agent is like a smart assistant that can autonomously perform tasks based on goal you have given it. Think of it as a robot chef. You say make me pizza and it plans the recipe, gather ingredient, bakes it for you without you micromanaging every step. And the key parts of an AI agent is its brain, which is LLM, its tools, which we can say functions or the service which are going to perform the task like editing the file, sending the emails, calling the APIs and all those things. And third part is the memory, which will remember the context and the past action it has taken or the past conversation it had with us. So this was the AI agent. How is this different from an LLM? An LLM is just the brain. It's great at chatting, writing, and answering questions, but it can't take actions. An AI agent uses an LLM as its brain plus adds tools and memory to do the things like updating your calendar, managing your to-do list, sending the emails, writing the files for you, and so on. The agent which we will be building today will be able to add task, remove task, and list your to-dos all by chatting with it. Here's what you'll need. First of all, you'll need a Node.js installed in your system. Second thing, you'll need a Gemini API key. Third, you need a code editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. And the fourth is you'll need a Appwrite, which is a backend as a service we are using for our database. You can use any database, Mongo, MySQL, Postgres, anything you like. So let's start with the installation and the setup. So we'll need the four dependency. First one is this Google Generative AI, Appwrite, readline sync, and then dot environment. So next step is setting up our Appwrite database. So we'll quickly go to appwrite.io. We'll then create our new project and then create new database. You can name it anything. I'll just name it to do agentdb. And then we'll have to create a collection. Let's name it to do. After that, you will have to add three attributes. First one, let's name it as to do. Second one is created at. Third one is updated at. So once this is done, create an index for to do so that it can be searched. Let's name it to do index and then give it as a full text and yeah, save it. Now grab your project ID, API key from the settings and along with the Appwrite endpoint as well, and save them in .env file like this. Same way, we'll go to Google AI Studio and grab ourselves a Gemini API key. So we'll go to aistudio.google.com and then click on get API key and just create the key and copy it to the same .env file. So the next thing is writing the system prompt, writing the AI code and the database access. So we'll start with creating three files first: index.js, db.js, system prompt.js. Okay, so first we'll write the system prompt. This is the system prompt. I'll quickly explain it to you. So what we are saying here is that you are AI to-do list agent operating in the state. So we are giving instruction to the AI agent that you have 5 states: start, plan, action, observation and output. And AI agent has to follow these steps. So wait for the user's prompt, plan using available tools, send the plan, execute action using tools, wait for observation, respond in output. So what we are telling it, let's wait for the user's response and you have to plan it. Once your planning is done, you'll have to take the action and execute your actions, and then wait for the observation. Whatever observation will be collected, you'll generate your output according to it. And you are using available tools. So these are the available tools we have given. So we are giving get all to dos, create to dos, delete to do by id, and search to do. So whatever the functionality AI agent wants to perform, it has to do with only these four functions. And then we are giving the to do schema as well, how we are storing the data. So now the main thing is we are explaining the AI with the example. So these two things are very crucial. Like you can add more examples, but these are the important things. Like how the AI has to respond will be written in it. So first thing is we are explaining if the type is user, it means it's a user prompt. So user is sending add a task for shopping groceries. So the next step which the AI has to take is plan. So it will plan this one. It will do the planning. It will ask for more details on the item for shop. As I haven't given the more context to the AI what all groceries, so it's asking for more details. So it will directly generate the output that what items do you want to shop for. Next things, one user type, I want to buy milk, kurkure, lays, chocos. So next thing what it will do is it will plan. So in planning it is saying use create to do to add the shopping task. So the now next after the planning it will take the action. So type is action, and you'll have to call the function, which function create to do, and the input will be this shopping for milk, kurkure, lays, chocos. Now the next thing is it will wait for the observation. So this observation will be returning based on whatever our db functions returns us. Once the observation is given to AI, it will generate the output like your to do has been created or added successfully. Next example we have given to prevent creation of fake functions. So sometime it will try to create its own fake functions like count, hello and all those things. So we'll have to stop it. Now the next thing is we'll write the code for AI model calling and the DB clients. So let's start with initializing the Google generative AI. So first we'll import Google generative AI. Next thing we'll import .env. Thirdly we'll import system prompt. Now we'll initialize .env config. We'll write the code for initialization of generative AI. It takes an API key, so we'll pass it from our environment variable. Okay, mistake here. Next thing is we'll get the model out of it. So gen AI dot get generative model, and the model which we are using is Gemini 1.5. It's of free use. You can create your own keys and use this model. Okay, this is the model. Also, one more thing, we'll ask the generative model that we need the response in JSON. So generation config will provide have response meme type, yeah, application slash JSON. Okay. After that, we'll give it the system instruction, which is our system prompt. So this our model is being initialized. Now let's do the TB initialization and the function calling. So same way we'll import .env here as well, because it's a different file. Now we'll have to import few things: client database ID query from Node Appwrite, which we installed earlier. .env config initialization. Now we'll initialize the client, new client. Okay, next thing is we'll initialize the database access, and we'll have to pass the client in it. Okay, so let's take our keys here as well. From in process environment, and then next thing we'll need collection ID as well. After that, we'll have to set up the endpoint and project key and API key as well. So in the Appwrite, you have one function set endpoint. In it, you'll have to pass your endpoint. So we have process.environment, and then we have set project function, which will set the project ID, and then set key function. Okay, so this is our setup is being done. So now we'll have to write all those 4 to do functions, like search to do, delete to do by ID, get all to do, create to do. I'll just quickly copy paste them here and we'll explain it to you. So in this get all to do's, we are using the database and listing all the document based on the DB ID and collection ID. And once we have the list of document, we are mapping it down and finding all the attributes. Same way in create to do, we are getting a date and time to update it for create time and update time, and then we are calling create document on database instance, and we are providing DB ID and collection ID. DB ID and collection ID will be passed everywhere, and then this will be the ID, document ID. We are giving it unique. So this is coming from here. We have unique function in the ID. So here we are passing to do, created it, updated it, and the document ID will be generated from here. Next thing, we are for the delete to do by ID, we are using the database, deleting the document in the database ID, collection ID, and then the ID of the document. Next thing, for searching, we are listing all the document and doing the query based on whatever the query is being passed to us, and then listing all the document which matches the query. And we are at the end, we are exporting all the functions so we can access it from other files. So this was our DB configuration. So from DB endpoint, everything is done. We'll go to index.js. Now like we'll have to record our conversation, so we'll have to iteratively send our conversation to AI. Let's say if we are the user and we have given user prompt and the plan was given by AI, so we'll have to combinedly send user plus plan to the AI again, so it can take the next action. That will be either output or it will be action. So we'll have to store those things in array. So we'll create a messages array. Next thing is to get the user's response. We'll have to iteratively take the user's response, right? We do not want that our function once executed should exit at the end, right? So we'll create a while loop which will be true until it's break. And then to take the user input, we'll use read line sync. Okay, so we haven't imported it. Let's import it. So once read line sync is being imported, we'll use the question function. Now we'll have to create this structure. this structure of example. So what we'll do is we'll create one more object, user messages. First thing is type, it will be user. Next thing is what user is saying is we'll get it from our query. So this is our user message is being ready. What we'll do is we'll just check if user query is exit or this query equals to quit. If it's any of them, we'll break the loop. So if user types exit or quit, we allow them to close the function. So now what we'll do is in this messages array, we'll push the user message. So we'll push the user message. Let's stringify it. Okay, so we are pushing the user message. Next thing, let's test it. Yes. So I think there was some import problem. Let's check. Okay, we'll have to write the JS as well. File path, complete file path. Yeah. So as you can see, this two arrow we have given here, it's coming. Now it's reading whatever we are giving. It's asking again and again because it's in loop. Print the user prompt if you want to check. So this is the object we'll be pushing. Let's run again. So this is our object which will be created. So yeah, it's working fine. Okay, let's try quit one as well. So if I type quit, it has closed the function. So it's working as expected. I'll just remove this console log. Okay, so now we have to write the auto prompting logic. So let's start with it. So what we'll do is for auto prompting we'll have to use the loops because we'll have to loop again and again to generate the content as per our need. So what we'll do is we'll try to generate the content based on our messages or the conversation. Generate content. So this model is this model we have created above, and then we'll pass the messages. Okay, so we'll have to await it. So once that is done, we'll get the response and we'll store it in result. So we can access the response from chat.response.text. This is how, or like, let's trim it as well. So this is how you'll get the response. So we can print it console.log. Okay, so let's try it. There are more steps, but let's try to run it. Okay, it's generating the content. Okay, as you can see, plan. So it's again and again looping because we haven't break this loop anywhere. So what we'll do is we'll continue writing our code. So once we get the response, so as you have seen recently, it was the plan. So it is continuously sending us the plan. We have to do this. So we'll again push it to the messages. Result will be messages. I'm removing the console log. Next thing is what we'll do is we'll check for if there is any action type is given to us, because we have to take the action based on it, like calling the to do functions and all. So we'll create a action variable and then let's parse the object, result object, and write two condition. If the action type is output, we'll simply print it console log action output. We are getting the output in action output. Okay, and we'll break the loop. Else if the action type is action, so we'll have to perform certain actions. So what we'll do is we'll have to use the tools. So let's create an import for our tools. Let's also create one variable of object type which contains all our tools. So name it at tools. Search to do can be accessed. Search to do. Okay, so now as you can see, this is referencing correctly. Okay, it's from db.js. So what we'll do is we'll have to call the functions. So let's create a function variable. We'll have to access the tools and grab the function. So we'll be getting the functions from action.function, which the AI will send us, like which function to call. Let's also add one check. If not function, then we'll have to throw error, like because we do not have those tools which the AI wants us to execute. Now we'll have to create the observation based on whatever the function has returned us. Let's create one variable observation. So now once this is done, we'll have to create the example object which has given in the system prompt for the observation. So here it is, observation. So let's create one variable. Type is observation. Observation is this observation we are passing in the observation. So we'll have to push it into messages array. So let's do it. Messages dot push. It will be observation message. So here our code for the auto prompting is being done. So this is the auto prompting. Once we'll get one response, we'll again send it for auto prompting. If these actions are not matching, we'll loop it again and again until our output is generated. So let's try it. Let's clear the console log. Then okay, so we have some error. I think we imported the package, right? Okay, so we have imported the Appwrite. We'll have to use the Node Appwrite. So now it should work. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, it has responded with hello there. Let's ask how many to do I have. After debugging for some time, I found out we have written it as database and it's asking for databases. So let's make it databases so it should match. Let's check out our index.js file. Yeah, also there is one thing we have to stringify it as well. Before running the code, let's add one console log so we can see what the model is auto prompting. Okay, let's try to print the results again and again. Okay, let's test it. Hey there, how are you? So yeah, it has planned the greetings and then given the output. Hey there, I'm doing well, thank you for asking. I'm here to manage your to-do list and so on. Okay, so let's ask, can you remind me to check in reply to email? Okay, as you can see, it has planned and given the action. Action was a function create to do and then input was check and reply. Once we call this function with this input, we have given the observation, this observation we have given, and then it has generated the output based on the observation which we gave. Okay, let's clear the console and then let's ask it to add more to dos. Can you remind me of reading money works book? Okay, it has successfully added. Now let's go to the portal, Appwrite portal, and then see if we have the to-dos here. As you can see, reading money works, check and reply to email. Let's try to search for email to do. Is there any email task for today? As you can see, use search to do to search for email task. So it has called the function search to do and the input was email. Now once we have called this function and got all the list and the observation, based on that we have sent the observation and it has generated the output. Yes, you have one task related to email, that is check and reply to email. Okay, let's ask it to remove it. I'll just clear the console, remove email task. Now as you can see what it has done, it has planned use delete to do by id to delete the email task. First get the id using search to do. So it has done the searching, use search to do to search for email task, and then use delete to do to delete it. Now it has first given the action, function was search to do and the email was search. So it is basically getting the id. Once we have written the observation for search to do, it has got the id. So now it has given the action that you have to call this delete to do by id function, and then the input is this id. And once we have again given the observation that whether the to do was deleted or not, it has generated the output based on it. Email task have been removed successfully. And let's check on the dashboard. So as you can see, it is being removed. So yeah, this is how we create an AI agent. So possibilities are endless. You can create your own custom AI agent to remind you of your task, or maybe write an AI agent for sending your emails. Maybe you can do the integration with Telegram or Slack to get the notifications there for your task. Or you can build the pipeline to deploy some code based on the chats and everything. So yeah, possibilities are endless. You just have to think and start building. Remember, code is always greater than hype. So yeah, keep coding, keep learning. I'll be putting more AI content or videos on AI because I'm also learning these things. So I'll also try to share it with you. So if you want video on any particular topic, you can comment it out below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, as this will encourage me to put more video and more efforts. Yeah, thank you for watching.